Hello, my name is Patrick, and for my consumer behavior final, I was interested in doing a unique project. In this project, I was interested in looking at different generations and their buying behavior. What I did differently, though, was I interviewed one person from every generation and asked them the same question. What was life like when you were 20 to 25? What did you want to buy, and what motivated you to buy these items? I also asked them other questions, such as do you like to try new products, and how you feel about the different generations' buying habits. I was very surprised to see what answers I got from each generation. I hope that you enjoy this video and the different interviews that I have. In this video, you will see that I have interviewed one person from each generation. In the textbook, it talks about the baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, and Generation Z. I wanted to take it one step further, though. I wanted to interview one person from the greatest generation and the silent generation. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin.
Okay, where are we going to start?
So, what was life like when you were 25?
So, I had gone through the Depression, and I was working for Standard Batteries during the war. I was a machine operator making cells for batteries for the Army. I worked there until the end of the war. And then I continued working until I retired.
Okay. How much did you make?
Oh, $35 a week.
Okay. Now, during that time, what did you buy in that time period?
At that time, what did
you buy?
Oh, clothes were in style. But also, yeah, and things for the family. Of course, you know, the only thing is here, like I say, I'm only talking for myself. But since all the others were working, we all contribute to the family.
Okay.
So we had plenty.
Right.
I mean, we had enough. We weren't, how would I say, we weren't, wishing we had more. We were satisfied with what we had.
Right.
Because like I'm talking right now, you're asking me, it seems like I was the only one working. See, what I say this, I had a good time. Also, it was because the other was working, and we all contributed till we had enough.
So you had.
We could have had more, of course, but we had enough to satisfy us, to, you know, for the time.
Right.
Because, like I talk, oh, how good, but that means there was more money coming in. My father, Virginia, my sister, and Alex. Those were the ones that we were working. The others weren't quite up to it yet. And so, but when I say, you ask me how it sounds like I was making a lot of money.
That's okay. So, where did you go to shop?
I went shopping to Wessels and Bullock's.
What
Bullock's
towns?
was downtown LA on Broadway,
Oh.
which if everybody they know, and Wessels was in East LA
Okay,
on Whittier Boulevard.
very good. Very good. Now you like to always be in style.
How what?
You liked to always be in style.
Dressing style.
To dress in style. You always enjoy.
My dresses came from my dresses. I mean, during the war we all wore jeans, not jeans like they have today, but but they were pants bought at Army and Navy.
Now, over the years, has your style or what you like to buy, has it changed?
Over the years, styles began to change. But I did not change. I had a hard time
Okay.
finding my taste.
Right. Okay. Now, do you feel that some styles have stayed the same, or is it always changing?
Well, for a while, it was hard. They changed. And I had a hard time finding my
Right.
taste.
Right. Okay. And then finally, do you like to try new things, or were you never wanted to try anything?
Well, yeah, if I couldn't find my taste, I just did without.
All right. Well, that's very good. Thank you, Grandma. That should do it. Those are all the questions that we have.
What is the next one?
Oh, we went through them.
Were you taste? Well, you asked me if my
Yeah.
buying taste have changed.
we
and
are.
I
We've
said
gone through.
no.
Yeah, we've gone through all of them. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yeah, do you feel the different generations have different tastes? Yeah, of course, they do. But I can still manage
Right.
to find what I like.
Right.
It's better now.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Okay, we're Dave and Jan Balsley. I am 68 years old, born in 1946. We live in Brea, California, and Jan is?
3 years younger.
We've been married 44 years.
He's 25.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. So my first question I'd like to ask is, what was life like when you were 25?
Well, that was in the 70s. We got married in 1970, and there were a lot of unrest. There was some student rioting and unrest in, can't remember now, in California.
Hangover from the 1960s,
Yeah.
crazy era
60s, yeah.
in the United States history.
Hippies and,
We were both in school. Actually, I guess we had just finished school, so I was probably in my first pastorate in Springdale, Oregon.
Okay.
Jan was working for Multnomah School of the Bible, probably, as,
Yeah.
in the registrar's department.
yeah.
Okay. Now, when you were 25 years old, what did you want to buy?
What to buy?
Yes, want to buy.
Well, I don't remember any real pressing needs. Probably the things that I spent the most time salivating over would be sound equipment, a nice component stereo system. I like to listen to music, and so we were graduating up from something pretty primitive to something a little nicer.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just remember being happy and fulfilled and not wanting a whole lot. I suppose like any young married, I might have dreamed about a house sometime down the road, but I was happy.
We weren't in any position to think seriously
No.
about a house when we were 25, for sure.
Of course. Now, with that, what were stores or places you like to go shop?
Well, the one that was in Portland, Oregon at that time, and I think it's still there, a chain, but it's called Fred Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a grocery store / department store. They had everything. So that's where I did, I think, probably all of my shopping. There was also we lived out in the country when we were first married in the first pastorate, and they had one little tiny store. This town was so small, there was no stoplight or anything. It was really small, a couple hundred people, but
About 3,000 scattered around the
well,
hills.
scattered around, right in town, maybe just a few hundred. So, yeah, shopping was limited.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart hadn't made its way west in those days, so Fred Meyer would have been kind of roughly the equivalent of a Walmart today.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Now, what was your motivation to buy or purchase any of these items?
Our budget was tight enough that the motivation was necessity.
Necessity.
Now, the sound system wasn't a necessity, so that would have been bordering on luxury.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get Jan to ride a bike, so every once in a while I'd buy a bike that she never really took to. But yeah, most of the things we bought were just the things we absolutely had to have.
Okay. The next question is, was your style, your preference, your taste, was this based off of what was popular during the time, or did you formulate your own sense of style?
I never was into
Yeah.
what society was doing. I wanted something that was practical.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for me.
Yeah, I pretty much wasn't too troubled by whether or not I was popular in high school. I mean, I wasn't. That didn't bother me.
Right. What's very interesting is sometimes people, the way they dress, their buying behavior, or how they act as an individual is based off of what's popular during the time. Other people say, no, I'm completely against what society or what's popular right now. The next question is, have your buying habits changed or stayed the same over the years?
Well, I think our budget has kind of kept us the same over the years. Dave's always had a budget, and we've always pretty much lived by it. But the last few years have been a little bit easier, I guess, in that regard.
Yeah, our buying habits haven't changed a whole lot. Obviously, as time passed and we became a little more affluent, our choices were, we had more choices, but we've never been very extravagant. We've always been pretty conservative and not too greatly influenced by the latest gadgets. Not really a gadget person.
And we never went out to eat a lot, you know. We just, both of us just enjoy home cooking, and so that, and we're not really moviegoers, so pretty simple.
Right. The next question is, do you feel that different generations have similar tastes, styles, and preferences, or have they changed over time?
Oh, I would say that I've seen quite a bit of change, especially in Southern California. Southern California is very trendy, and our society in the time we've been married has been increasingly influenced by the media For the first 20 years of our marriage, we didn't even have a television, and I didn't want one. And in fact, we finally got one, not because we were interested in it, but because our kids were going somewhere else to watch TV, and we thought we ought to know what they were watching.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't very, we never were very influenced by the society's taste,
Mm-hmm.
dictated by, in a large extent, by the media. We're pretty much our own bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can just remember, well, speaking of styles, I guess, just when I was growing up, girls wore dresses to school.
Mm-hmm.
And then that all changed, of course,
Mm-hmm.
now.
Of course.
And then the college I went to forbade a girl to wear, I was in a dormitory that was upstairs above the administration area, and they forbade us to go downstairs in pants unless we were going on some kind of like PE or something.
Mm-hmm.
We had to wear a dress. So that's definitely changed.
Right, that is a very big change. Some people have answered by telling me that they feel styles go in cycles. I've heard some people say that. I've heard some people say that certain things have changed and certain things have not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always interesting to hear what people have to say. And of course, based off of your experience and what's happened.
It's interesting to see, to follow that trend in men's ties. Most men don't wear ties now, but there are times when ties get real thin, and there are times when ties get real wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're aware of those trends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then wearing jeans, and I thought it was just obscene when jeans with zippers in the front. I mean, to me that was so masculine. I mean, what a guy would wear, that I couldn't imagine any girl wanting to wear that. Well, I
Right.
wear them all the time now. I don't give a thought
Yeah.
about it.
Of course. Now, the final question that I have is, do you like to try new products, anything new? Why or why not?
I tell people that ruts are my specialty, and that's pretty true. I'm not very innovative. I don't feel any need to rush out and try the latest thing. Jan's probably a little more innovative than I, but she's not too wild either.
Yeah, probably from a woman's viewpoint, I would enjoy the new creams or cosmetics, something like that. But
Right.
other than that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too into that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
answering.
Okay. What was like when you were 25? When I was 25, I was already working full-time for the Sheriff's Department. Vietnam War had ended. Things were kind of getting back to normal. Wages were still low for the area that I worked, where my wages were half as much as big cities. So for me, money was tight, and you only buy one thing at a time. You saved your money, or you found other activities that didn't cost. What did you buy when you were 25? Well, in my 20s, as soon as I got my full-time job, I bought myself a brand new car. Then, that was, my car. I bought a sports car. I worked, and at that time too, I worked more than 40 hours a week, sometimes up to 50 hours a week without pay, just to learn the job that I had, because we didn't get paid overtime, but we could work, and they could work us without overtime, because the contract allowed 10% additional pay every year, once a year, in one paycheck. So the county was poor, so to keep your job, you had to work a little bit extra if you wanted to promote, get out and work and learn the job, which gave me a better work ethic as time went on, which also I would also require my personnel to put that extra time in. what I bought was the necessities. I bought a car. As soon as that was paid off, then I bought a house in the mountains. And even though I didn't get paid a lot, you know, I had a house. The area where I lived, my activities didn't require money. Hiking, you know, jogging. You know, you had to keep you entertained yourself. You know, you would go out now and then, but you didn't spend lots of money. You'd go to the show. At that time too, in the area that I lived, at 6 p.m. everything closed. So you really couldn't go the nightlife. I entertained myself by, driving, my sports car still. Then I was into shooting. So, you entertained yourself. What was your motivation to purchase or buy these items? Well, necessity, really. A car. Then I bought the house. That's because the way I was raised. Both my parents, after World War II, married late in life. Both were 30 years old when they got married. And my mother told me that everyone considered her lucky because my father, before he got married, already had a house and a car, those were items that many people had after World War II. My dad was single, saved his money, had been in the military. So I was taught you don't get married until you have a house, a car. And so I didn't get married until I was 30. So everything that I did up until then was to help my career, become more settled, and the house was for a tax write-off. When my intention was to live there, then they sell it for more money later on. I bought just the necessities. I didn't buy new furniture. Some of the furniture I had was old, that I was handed down. I lived a frugal life just because I didn't have a lot of money. But I didn't charge. I was not into buying on credit, because I hated being in debt. What were your tastes, styles, preferences based on what was popular or were they your own? Well, in the 50s, I was born in 1950. I was, at that time, people still dressed what we call for success, and you had the well-dressed man too. My parents, when my sister, when they bought clothes for us, they bought us good clothes. They bought us, the styles at that time. We were always taught, to dress well because it showed respect for others. So the styles that I wore were at that age was for that time. But as I grew older, in my teenage years, I still liked the conservative lifestyle of the clothing. In the late 60s, early 70s, when it changed to the hippie generation, the bell bottoms and tie-dye, I did not purchase, I did not wear. If I was given those kind of clothing for my birthday or Christmas, I didn't wear them because that was not my style. My style is showing respect. My style is business, professional, even working or not working. My style fits what I do. Like I wear vests because it's a Western style that I like. It also keeps me warm. I don't have to turn the heater on in the house because it's like a chill chaser. So yeah, I have to think, economy all the time. But I don't buy cheap clothing because if I buy the good clothing, it lasts longer. I don't buy polyester because polyester is non-functional. It doesn't keep you warm in the winter, it doesn't keep you cool in the summer. So I either buy wool blends or cotton clothing because they last longer, and it's the economy. Even though it may be more, it lasts longer, which saves you money in the end. So I don't dress what's popular. I do wear blue jeans because I have horses. I use it for that. But I don't. If I go to any type of formal function. No jeans. It's always slacks, three-piece suit, coat, tie. And that's strictly, for, respect to others. I'm a professional. I'm educated. That's how I present myself, and I've taught my kids the same thing. Have your buying habits changed or stayed the same over the years? Well, my buying habits are the same. I don't spend unless I need it. Like, I still drive the first car I bought when I got the job in 1973. I still drive it, but it's a classic now. And, I wanted to buy a pickup truck so I could go out camping and pull my horses in the trailer. Well, it took me a long time to get that diesel truck. It was not until I could afford it that we bought it. And then I keep everything. I maintain all my vehicles. I work on them myself, mostly. Saves me money. The longer I keep them, I buy it, it's paid off, it continues driving, you maintain it, and you save money. So, yeah, I'm still frugal in that, and being retired now, I am on a fixed income. But because of that, everything is paid for. I'm not hurting like other people do who are always in debt. I try to live debt-free. Only payments I have are the house and a new car that I bought. But that's the only two payments I have. So I can do other things. I can help my family, my children through school, because I'm not in debt for anything else. Do you feel that different generations have different tastes, styles, preferences over time? Of course they do. As I see now, people do not dress like I did. They don't dress for success. They dress just strictly for themselves. For example, when I was a sergeant, before I retired, I worked at this one facility, and the new deputy came to, who just was transferred there, came in, and he was dressed in a tank top and sweatpants. I met him before he got to the captain. I go, "Is this how you come to meet your captain for the first time? Dressed like some slob off the street?" I said, "You're not going to meet him. You're going home and you're going to change, because you're not showing respect for your boss." So he was shocked. No one ever told him that. Well, he came back and dressed like I told him to. Slacks, regular shirt, like a professional. And so where does someone get this idea that you can show up to work that way? Is that just, how society has become, to show as little respect as you can towards others for some reason, that you're your own individual, that you can, everything is for yourself, which is not, respectful. Everything that I do is to treat others, with respect. My clothing that I buy is also to impress, to show that I am, I respect them. I wouldn't go into their home dressed like unshaven or unclean, dirty. That's how, I believe we treat each other, and that my buying habits are for that too. So that I buy good clothing that presents me, as still a professional. Do you like to try new products? Why or why not? No, I don't like shaving. I still use a double-edged razor because I think I get a better shave. And it's also environmentally better because I'm not using all these plastic shavers a couple times, but I have the same shaver that I've had for years. My clothing, I still dress collared shirts, pressed. new products, you know, like a cell phone. For me, a cell phone is a phone. I use it to, you know, receive phone calls, to make calls if I need it, or for emergencies. I don't need all the fancy gadgets to texting, you know, GPS, because I know where I'm going. A map is easier and it's cheaper and it doesn't require batteries. And it's, you know, following signs is easy too. So no, new products, it has to benefit me for me to take a new product. It has to benefit me in that it's going to save me money. It's make my life easier. And easier in that maybe I don't have to take an extra step. I don't have to, you know, like a tool that'll make it easier for me to work on a vehicle or whatever. It has to be functional for me. It just can't be for, oh, I have this. Look at my GPS. Well, I don't need a GPS. So it has to be something that I can use every day, basically. You know, that's how I look at things. You know, I like to collect antiques that are no longer, you know, not very relevant for my lifestyle, but I like handmade items. And then if I am going to buy something, it's something that's old, you know, antique, still functions, and does the same thing as a new product. Okay.
Okay.
My name is Joshua Jensick. I was born in 1978 and I'm part of the Generation X group. What was life like when I was 25? Such a broad question. 25. I was just finishing college. I just finished my degree at Long Beach State. I was working at a police department at the time, and a police department. And in order to kind of jumpstart my career, I quit my job and went and found a new job. And so at that point, I had more money than most people did at 25 because I'd worked full time for 5 years. And I had a very clear direction what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in management. I wanted to open my own company. So at that point, I was really focused on trying to find a real job, so to speak. What did you want to buy when you were 25? I wanted to buy a house. That was my big thing. So when I was 25, I bought a condo. For me, that was not what I really wanted. It was kind of just what I would get. So that's what I could afford. But my big thing was trying to get a house. I had bought a car earlier, so I had a car, but the house was my big thing when I was 25. What was your motivation to purchase or buy these items? For me, buying a house was like being a grown-up. So if you had a house, then you were an adult. So for me, that was the pure motivation. I didn't really, there was no real, it was a status component for me. So I wasn't looking forward to mowing a lawn or anything like that. It just had to do with, this was a status symbol for me. Were your taste, styles, preferences based on what was popular, or were they your own? I think I'm a little bit different than most folks. At the 20s, it was about partying and styles and having a good time, and I was really focused on retirement and a house and a career. So a lot of my tastes were reflections of that. So I still had some of the stuff that I had from being younger, you know, clothes and whatnot, but a lot of my styles became kind of distinct because I had a certain professional appearance that I wanted to attain. Have your buying habits changed or stayed the same over the years? I'd say that mine have changed. I think, you know, in the last few years I got married, I started getting more serious about having families and stuff like that. So a lot of when I was in my 20s was about accumulation of materialistic stuff. So now in my 30s, it's more about, you know, doing things with people I care about. And so my purchases and whatnot are different now. Do you feel that different generations have different taste, styles, preferences over time? Sure. Sure, I think that the general public is very much a reflection of the time. I think that there are always going to be outliers within that group. If you think about it, like when you're talking about like people in general or society in general, there's a lot of folks that follow the same beat, and then there's a few people that are on the outside edge that have their own kind of style. And I think I'm probably in that component that does their own thing. I'm not real concerned about what the group does, but I think most people do. And so from a buying standpoint or from kind of a marketing standpoint, you go towards that edge. And that's, that's it. So do I think they change over time? Yes, I think they change over time. Do you like to try new products? Why or why not? I love to try new products. My wife makes fun of me. I want to buy the latest gadgets. I want to get a self-driving car. I want Google Glass. I love new stuff. So for me, it's about driving innovation forward and trying different things. That's kind of what's important to me. That's the last question.
Okay.
Cool.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Amber and I'm a part of Generation Y.
What was life like when you were 20?
When I was 20, life is pretty much like it is now. There's a lot of technology, a lot of media, social media going on, a lot of connecting with people through those various things. Like I said, it wasn't much different than it is now.
What were some things that you wanted to buy when you were 20 years old?
When I was 20, I wanted to buy a car. That was the most important thing at the time because I had nothing to drive, so that was a big priority. I wanted to buy clothes that I had never been allowed to buy, things that my parents didn't want to get or couldn't afford to get. So I wanted to use my money to get things that expressed who I was or what I liked.
And what was your motivation to buy these things?
Like I said, it was because I wasn't either allowed to have those things or I would see them, see other people wearing them and thought that it looked cute, or for the car, that I just didn't have a ride and I wanted to be able to be independent and have a ride for myself and get a vehicle that
Right.
was my own.
Right. Now, where did you usually go buy or purchase any of these items?
I would go to, when I was 20, I would go to some of the most expensive stores. I would go to Forever 21 or, Macy's or things like that, because they had the styles that were popular during the time. And that's kind of changed.
Okay. And was this your style, your preferences, was your taste? Was this something that you created on your own, or was it just popular during the time? Were you following trends?
I think for the most part what I was allowed to wear with like my parents was not with a trend. It wasn't popular. It was something that that they wanted me to wear. So when I had that autonomy to choose what I wanted to wear, I chose what was most popular, what looked cute, what other women were wearing, and I kind of made it my own.
Okay. Very good. Some people, they have their own sense of style. They end up saying, you know what, this is my style. This is what I like to wear. Sometimes it goes with what's popular during the time. Sometimes it's not always the case. And it's always interesting to see what people have to say. The next question is, have your buying habits changed, or have they stayed the same over time?
I think my buying habits have changed. when I was 20, like I said, I wanted to kind of just get things because I was never allowed to get them. So I wanted to get like new clothes, the new style, what was in. It was kind of expensive. Now it's changed to where stuff that just I feel comfortable in and I want to wear, and it doesn't have to be expensive. I actually shop at Goodwill now because there's pretty good clothes there for a good deal, and I don't think I have to spend my money, because I work very hard for it, on very expensive clothing anymore.
Thank you for that answer. Now, the next question asks, do you feel that different generations have similar or different styles and preferences
Oh, I definitely,
compared to you?
I definitely think that different generations have different styles and preferences. Obviously, older generations, they don't usually, in my opinion, cling to what is the most popular. And I think younger generations definitely do. They'll see something on TV being sold and they'll want to get that new style. I've seen myself go back to some styles that I used to wear, just because it's, I guess it's a part of reminiscing about what I used to wear, what was popular, what was cool. And I think also practicality changes what's practical, not necessarily what's most popular.
Okay. And finally, do you like to try new products and new styles? Why or why not?
I actually don't like to try new styles or new things, new products at all. I'm very hesitant when something new comes out. I question it, and I might ask a few people what they think about it before I ever even consider it. I actually am kind of always behind the style, I guess, because I don't go into the style as it becomes popular.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for providing those answers.
Hi, my name is Leanna. I was born in 1996. I'm 18 years old and I'm part of Generation Z. Life, when I was growing up, I lived in the desert. I grew up around horses with my brother and my dad and my mom, and nothing really was hard because my parents were always there for me, helping me, and I have really bad health problems, but I've lived in the desert, so I've gotten used to all the different kind of elevations and changes. And it's different growing up here because you see all the different people growing up that lived here before us. Like my brother, his generation is way different than my generation because they were a little bit more covered in their style as than what my generation is.
What did you like to buy? What are some things you're interested in getting?
A lot of the things that I like to buy would be clothes because I love being in different kinds of styles and not always keeping up with the other generations, but having the different kind of styles that we like. And then different kinds of CDs and different artists that are out now. Like Taylor Swift is the biggest one right now that everybody loves.
What made you want to buy CDs or get the certain types of clothes, and where do you get these?
Super Target is one of the most main places to get everything with like Taylor Swift CDs and all that stuff, because if you go there you can see all the different kinds of artists that are out now, and then they have the new styles that everyone's wearing or different kinds of things. Like I love buying things from Styles for Less because they have not only one kind of style, but they have tons of styles so everybody can pick different what they like. They don't have to stick to what one person likes.
And what about clothes? Where do you like to go for that?
Mostly anywhere. It just depends if they have like my style. Like I love sweaters, and I don't like showing too much skin. I like having cardigans or dresses with cardigans or boots. Boots are my favorite thing in the world because I don't like showing my feet. And it depends on the different styles because a lot of people think that you have to be what everyone's wearing or be exactly what they're doing. So, like my friends, we don't dress like each other at all because we know who we are and we like being who we are. And some people don't understand why some people are more sluttier than others. It's just, it also depends on who you hang out with. Like my friends and me, we always wear kind of the same thing, like cardigans with not showing too much or anything, but we love just having a different kind of style that's still elegant but not too showing. Even though sometimes people might think they're a little out there, but like my dad doesn't like our style because he thinks they're too short. Like dresses are so short now. We have to wear like tights or leggings with them, and before they used to be all the way to the ground. And now only prom is like all the way to the ground.
Right.
So
So you feel that different generations have changed over time?
I think they make our generation seem like the worst because everything got short, or people have like tights with holes in them, and sometimes it just got worse and people always make our generation look bad. Even though it's not that we are bad, it's just that's what they're selling in the stores because they make our generation look that way.
Do you think that when you get older, your style's going to change?
I think my style probably will change when I get older because I'm not going to be the little girl anymore wearing too short dresses or just holes in sweaters and stuff like that. It would have to be like work clothes to show that you're actually concerned about what people think of you and not just to show that, oh, I'm like this or I'm like this, not to fit in with high schoolers.
Now, do you pick what's popular, or do you have your own style?
I do not pick what other people are wearing because I know I would probably get in trouble if I wore half this stuff because my dad would probably kill me if I did that. But I just buy kind of like what I like wearing, what I feel most comfortable in, because I don't like being too out there because people just stare at you. Because our generation now, like old people stare at young kids, and it's really annoying when you're with your friends and you get stared at just because you're in the mall and you just are with your friends and people are just staring at you because of our generation now. Everyone thinks that they can do whatever they want because they won't get in trouble, even though now it's really hard for all of us to fit in because we don't know what to do with feeling like we're just being watched all the time. Different generations have all different kinds of styles and stuff, but I think we all have a little bit of the same style because we all kind of probably felt the same way and stuff, but things have changed, like school got harder, different math is different, but we all kind of understand how we acted, I think. But at the same time, I feel like our generation has a lot more stress because people put a lot more on us saying, oh, you have to be the smart generation. Or you guys are like doing drugs or something like that. Like people don't understand that the different stresses and generations, and people say, oh, our generation was better and stuff. They probably did the same things that we're doing. It's just now they make a way more big deal out of things. With all the things that's going on.
Okay. And finally, do you like to try new products or new styles? Why or why not?
It depends. Like, I know my style has changed a lot. Like, I used to be like, I loved flowers and stuff, but now I'm more of like dark colors like black, maroon. Maroon's like the color right now that everybody tries wearing because it's like the main color to have. But I don't really try new like products like perfume or stuff because I'm allergic to like everything. So like makeup, I don't wear that much makeup because my eyes can't stand it. I don't have, like, I'm not one of those people that they say, oh, you have to try this, and I go buy it, because I'm not one of those people that has to have the newest thing out there. But I guess some people think, like, oh, the new iPhone just came out, I have to have it, like, I have to stay in the loop. But honestly, I love my old phone, and it doesn't really matter if I have the new one, but if I get the new one, then I know. But even if I do get the new iPhone, I probably won't have like the newest iPhone until like iPhone 20 or something. But it just depends, I guess, on what it is.
Okay. Well, thank you very much